Hey everybody, Angel Arts here. Let's kick things off with some judgment, shall we? Alright. Andy loves this
Adamant's
part.
influence continues, your worship. I submit Lord Livius Erimond of Virantium, who remains loyal to Corypheus.
Oh, well, we can't have that.
We found him
Andy,
alive,
thanks.
offering extreme resistance, likely because the Order will ask for his head. In more colorful terms. To say nothing of justice you might personally require for what was suffered in the Fade.
Countless better men and women than you are dead. Why shouldn't this be quick?
I recognize none of this proceeding. You have no authority to judge me.
On the
Oh,
contrary,
really?
many officials have communicated that they will defer to the Inquisitor on this matter.
Because they fear. Not just Corypheus, but Tevinter, rightful ruler of every piece of ground you trod in your pathetic life. I serve a living god. Bring down your blades and free me from the physical. Glory awaits me.
And he's like, well, if that's what you want. If that's what you want.
Lord Erimond, any protection you thought you had has apparently been withdrawn. You will die. By my hand.
Petty actions. Truth lies in the next world.
Which Andy doesn't really believe in. So he's like, okay. I think this is 2 people he's executed. Andy is very much not art. Next. Very much so different from art. All right. Let's keep going.
Another of the lingering pains of Adamant, your worship. Sir Ruth is a senior warden of the Order.
Ah,
She was
interesting.
one of the many who slit the throat of another to bind a demon. She does not contest this. In fact, she surrendered to us. She requests no mercy. She wants the public justice of the headman's axe.
Asking for no mercy seems redundant, given the crime.
There is no excuse for my actions. I murdered another of the Order. That blood marks me more than the Blight ever could.
Accepting their actions while thralls of Corypheus, many treaties allow wardens any extreme if it opposes the Blight.
I can't do it. I can't use the greater good to justify my crimes, as if it would create a future I could be a part of. It is wrong that this broke me. I've done worse with full sanction. I can do nothing except be an example of the cost.
And Andy he admits he kind of has a respect for that. Go to the deep roads. Exile like the other wardens. Exile like the other wardens. Jail her, throw away the key. Public humiliation then. He kind of, she wants something public, and then he's like, alright, fine, I can respect that.
Nothing brings out fear and pity like a criminal bound for the mines. Have Sir Ruth put in the stocks, then serve her sentence at hard labor.
If it serves as a warning, I go willingly.
Okay. And there's another one.
Mayor Gregory Dedrick of Crestwood is present for betraying his own constituents. He confesses that, 10 years ago, he flooded Old Crestwood to kill refugees and villagers touched by the Blight.
Right.
The mayor claims it was to spare the rest of Crestwood, but we only have his word.
What he did can't be overlooked, no matter the motive.
There's no cure for the Blight. But I can't convince anyone to leave a sick child or husband behind.
So you herded the infected into one place and flooded Old Crestwood. Were no innocents caught in the waters?
Nearly everyone in the village had the Blight. I swear it. Have mercy. I couldn't tell the survivors I'd drowned their own families to save them. I couldn't.
He's like, yeah, he doesn't like he doesn't necessarily like what he did, but he understands it. Given the same circumstances, if Andy was in the same position, he's not really sure what he would do. This one's tough. But I couldn't let the Seltzers, I drowned their own families to save them. I couldn't. What would Andy do? This one's hard for me, for Andy, because this particular situation is ridiculously gray, but you know what? Andy's gonna say the best I can do is
You
exile.
lied for 10 years about your crime, then fled after confessing your guilt. For avoiding justice, you are exiled from Ferelden. I doubt the Crown will disagree.
I knew your coming meant the end, one way or another.
Okay.
First, this wasn't my idea. It is an issue born of titles and heir apparency and...
Oh, the box. Just for
Halam
just...
Shiral is having difficulty freeing trade routes formerly controlled by Duchess Florian. Had she been tried, her assets would be forfeit and considerable bureaucracy avoided. So they ask that we judge her.
Great.
This is supposed to make sense. I'm judging a box.
Yeah, pretty much.
That was the time allotted for rebuttal. Her crimes negated any claim to... Forgive me, there is an odor.
There's a precedent, ignore this. Community service.
I call for rehabilitation. The skull shall do public theater about the evils of evil. I also judge the box. End table for orphans.
Point taken.
Oh, that's fantastic. Best judgment ever. Best. Duchess in the Box, 20941 operation available. Oh, that's an operation I need to get to. That is fantastic. Best one ever game. Oh, hello, Varric. Who's
I
your
appreciate
friend?
the warning, but you shouldn't have come yourself. What if the guild found out, or what's his name?
Are you worrying for me or for yourself?
A little of column A, a little of column B. I am the
It's
expendable
Fiona.
one, after all.
No, not Fiona.
Don't worry, I'll protect you. We'll just have to... Well, this is a surprise. You're the Inquisitor, right? Bianca Davry, at your service.
Your name is Bianca.
It's a common name. Half the girls in the Merchants Guild are named Bianca. The other half are named Helga. I lucked out.
I take it you're a friend of Varric's.
Who isn't a friend of Varric's? You have met him before, right?
You do look nervous.
Why do you both look like cats that got into the cream?
She's taken a huge risk coming here herself. Maybe for both of us.
You're such a worrier. There's a giant hole in the sky. I think the Merchants Guild has bigger things to think about.
Bianca's got a lead on where Corypheus got his red lyrium.
The site of Bartram's Folly, the tag Varric found, has been leaked. There's a deep roads entrance crawling with strange humans carting out red lyrium by the handful.
Who could have given away the Tig's location?
There were a few people who knew. Hirelings from the expedition, a couple of close friends.
How they found out isn't important. What matters is we know where they are now.
You can get there from Orlais. It's a long way to the free marches.
The deep roads are all connected. Or they used to be. Collapses and such. Some of them on purpose.
They really are roads. They spanned the Dwarven Empire, went to every corner of the continent, maybe further. In theory, you can get to any Tig using the deep roads, but in practice, there's a reason nobody uses them anymore.
How do we know they're not using multiple entrances to get to the Tig?
Navigating the deep roads isn't like the surface. There's no accurate maps of the whole system, and there are cave-ins, darkspawn, lava floods. If you find a route that gets where you're going, you don't deviate. Trying to find another way could be deadly.
We need to deal with this. As long as he has this source, Corypheus is that much more powerful.
I couldn't agree more.
I'll keep an eye on their operation. If you're interested in shutting it down, you've got my help. Try not to leave me waiting too long, Varric. I've got my own work to do, you know.
Right. That's not going to be trouble at all. Let me know when you want to head to the entrance.
Side quest. Not quite this moment, but I do want to see if you have anything else to say, Varric.
I need to have a few words with my publisher. The first one will be you, and the second one will be Bastard. They've claimed for years my crime serials don't sell in Orlais. So why is the Council of Heralds asking me for
Keep disappearing,
autographs?
Varric.
Sorry, distracted. Anyway, you need something?
No, the Z fighting. The Z fighting.
Tell me the truth, Varric. Do you actually think I was sent by Andraste?
Shit, this is going to be awkward. I guess I do. Either you're guided by the hand of some higher power, or you have the worst luck.
I wouldn't have pegged you as an Andrastian.
It's a great story. It's got heroism, love, betrayal, and random musical numbers. What's not to like?
I don't think
have a
Andrew
nug in
remembers
this
that.
race. It could be bullshit, it could be true. I'll never know. But I like the idea that maybe you could save the world with a song.
Just like a Disney princess.
That's not a reason to believe in me. It might actually be the opposite.
Look at all the shit that's happened to you. You were saved from the explosion that leveled a mountaintop and fell out of the Fade. You fought a demon inside your mind in the middle of a pitched battle between Templars. Faced down one of the ancient magisters who started the Blights, had a mountain fall on you, and lived. Single-handedly saved the Orlesian Empire. Stopped an army of demons. One of those things would be impossible. All of them
Well, I have a lot of
together?
save reloads.
That's a miracle.
I have a lot of save reloads.
Varric, it's just a coincidence. It's not destiny. I'm not some chosen one.
You can keep saying that. Meanwhile, I'm going to stand watch in case it starts raining cows or something. What can I do
All right,
for you,
Varric.
Your
Fair enough.
Inquisitorialness?
I've read your Tale of the Champion, and I have a few questions.
That's a pretty common reaction. Go ahead.
Oh, never
Carry
mind. I
on.
don't have any questions, apparently. I'm just trolling you, Varric.
Something you wanted to talk about?
Can I ask you something, Varric?
You want to talk about me? I'm flattered. Also inclined toward extravagant lies.
Thanks, Varric.
I'm super
problem.
trolling you, Varric.
Need something? Or are you just here to admire the dwarf?
Always, Varric. Always.
What can you tell me about this Corypheus?
I'm not exactly an expert, but ask away and I'll answer what I can.
How did you first encounter him?
A few years back, I was dealing with some trouble from a Carter clan that went rogue. They were sending assassins after the Hawk family. We tracked them to a rune in the Vivarks. It turned out to be a trap. Once you went far enough into the rune, there was a magic barrier that kept you from going back. The whole thing was a prison the Grey Wardens were using to hold what they thought was a powerful darkspawn.
I've never heard of wardens locking up Darkspawn. Why wouldn't they just kill him and be done with it?
I don't think they could. From what we saw in there, Corypheus can control Warden somehow. They couldn't attack him. The wardens locked him up because there was nothing else they could do.
You and Hawke both said before he was supposed to be dead.
He was dead. We killed him. The only way
Not
for us to
so.
escape the prison Corypheus was trapped in was to go through him. We weren't going to just leave the door to his prison open behind us and hope he was dead. We made sure.
He looks like some sort
Nope.
of blighted
Nope.
creature, but he speaks. What is he exactly?
The wardens who imprisoned him thought he was just a darkspawn. But you heard him ranting. He claims he's a magister. One who assaulted the Golden City, what, more than 1,000 years ago? It seems crazy, but if he's telling the truth, he's one of the people who caused the blights.
All right, I think that's enough about Corypheus.
No problem. Need something? Or are you just here to admire the dwarf?
I want to know more about Red Lyrium.
I'll tell you what I can.
What could the Templars want with it?
In Kirkwall, just having the Lyrium idol made Knight Commander Meredith impossibly strong. Before it turned her into a Lyrium statue, anyway. Maybe they thought the power was worth it, or maybe they didn't know the consequences.
I think that's enough on Red Lyrium.
Yeah, not really my favorite subject.
Alright, see ya, Varric. I will chat with you later. For now, let us go. Oh, it says that we've got a bunch of missions and quests here on this side of the map. Let's go take care of those real quick. I feel like one of them might be Sarah's, maybe. Or Meriden?
Inquisitor. A title hard to rhyme. A challenge for another day, I think. Forgive me my distractions, Eminence. I'm overwhelmed by you and what you've done. My name is Meriden, a humble bard.
Are you a bard like those of Orlais?
Oh, heavens no. I'm a minstrel first. My weapon is a cutting tongue, not blades. I hope my skills will help in some small way, if only I can give your deeds their due.
What do you bring to the Inquisition?
A simple thing that you know well. The power of a muse to rally hearts and minds. Inquisitor, I want to spread the word of what you've done. A small but vital role.
And you
Perhaps
can get
I'll
behind
also
that.
make a coin or two.
Carry
And
on.
you can
then.
get behind that too.
Oh, I will do my best, Inquisitor.
Alright. Crem, are you doing okay?
So, you and the chief, huh? Good for
Yeah.
you two. Hope the big idiot makes you happy.
I wanted to talk about you, if that's all right.
You know, I'm from Tevinter. Wasn't a slave, but even citizens have it rough if they're not mages. I was a soldier, but women joined the ranks under a different program. When they found out I was passing, it got ugly. I ran, at ball near the border, and ended up here. Not a life I'd wish on everyone, but it'll do.
Why did you decide to live as a man?
I didn't decide anything. I've been like this my whole life. My parents wanted me to marry up. They tried to find me a nice merchant's son. Every day, put on a dress, look into my father's shaving mirror, and just hate myself.
How did your family react when you started?
My mother wanted to throw me out. She said if I didn't marry well, I was dooming the family to slavery. She was happy to take the money I set as a soldier, though. Not that it mattered in the end. My father. When I was little, he'd angle his mirror down so I could pretend to shave, just like him. He never said anything, but I think he knew.
What's Tevinter like for a citizen? Someone who isn't a slave or a mage.
I'm of the Separati, citizens who aren't mages. Mages are in charge and everyone knows it. But a wealthy merchant can have an easy life. At the low end, people just try to stay out of slavery. My father was a tailor. I joined the army after the Imperial slaves drove him under.
How did slaves drive your family out of business?
My father made shirts, aprons, that kind of thing. Nothing fancy. One of the magisters had a pet project to prevent the poor from dying of cold in the winter. Nice, right? He had Imperial slaves making simple peasant clothes and selling them for almost nothing. That magister's nice idea put out slave-made clothes at prices my father couldn't match.
Who would buy goods made by slaves, knowing they'd be hurting a citizen's business?
People with enough money for a new shirt or a loaf of bread, but not both. My father sold himself into slavery. He's one of the Servus Publicus, the Imperium-owned slaves now.
Wow. I forgot about that.
You said you left Tevinter when they discovered your secret.
Women are allowed to serve, but only in certain ranks and disciplines. I was up for promotion, but the healer I'd bribed to sign off on my physical had to tend to a sick magister. When the replacement healer saw what was or wasn't in my pants, he made threats. It was slavery or death, so I knocked him out and ran.
It's against the law to pass as a man.
It's a crime to lie on an Imperial application for service. Would have been a heavy fine or slavery. For 10 silvers, the healer said he'd tell the Tribune I was sick in the head. Some pity for the mad little girl. That was when I hit him. I'd served for a few years. I was good at hitting.
I'm surprised you escaped from the Tevinter Imperium so easily.
It's not like I lived in Minrathous. I was in Trevis, not far from the Navaran border. It helped that I was being chased as a deserter, not a runaway slave. Slave hunters only get paid for what they catch. They're efficient bastards.
We'll talk later.
Crem is such an awesome character. Such an awesome character. Meanwhile, there's Sutherland.
Glad I could bring the news about those Darkspawn, Inquisitor. Must have been a tough fight. Wish I'd seen it. Had a lull after. Shade went to Valroyo. Off, I don't know. I'll get into Cullen's reserve yet, though. Not much else doing.
I'm trying to see what would happen if I sent Sutherland in a slightly different path from with art. Although I love active duty Sutherland.
One for the
What's going on?
For Gaspar, Brianna, the Duchess, and Christopher. Right in the dangle bag.
Well, remind me to stay on your good side.
Don't worry, you're sparkling compared to that lot. A cook here,
Thank you, dear.
a footman there. What's it matter, right, so long as there's a butt for the throne? A skinny elven puppet arse at that. Wonder how long before she forgets her poor elves. Ugh, that place. Should have just thrown in some bees and slammed the doors.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. You want to stop a party, I think you go earwigs.
I hate those things, with their little pinchy butts. Josephine should add that to her paper threats. You know the real lesson from all this? Never sleep with an empress. That, and Briala being an idiot. The whole thing would have gone different if that little piss-up wasn't in the middle.
That was a mistake on their part. It made everything worse.
Wrong way around, Inquisitor. It started worse. Lots of people died before there was a hole in the sky. That's who you're saving. If you get a chance, maybe remind them not to be idiots.
We don't have that much time, Sarah. We don't have quite that much time.
Back, yeah? Always good.
Want some friendly roof time, my BFF?
When waked, we walked where willows wail, whose withered windings will wassail. It's poetry because of W's and shit.
Thank you. Cute. So much different
Can't wait,
from art.
what's on?
Ready to talk about yourself?
I'd like to know more about you, now that you're comfortable.
Suppose. It's embarrassing enough now, may as well.
I think that after our rooftop chat, I get why you're not like other elves.
I get it, right? You're the you-iest you that ever walked, and you want others to be the themiest thems with you. Don't care. Can we just drop it?
We'll
All
talk
right.
later.
If you say so.
Alright. Fair enough. Fair enough. I don't know what these estimation points are for, but I'm gonna chat with Cole.
I didn't understand the Grand Ball. It would have been easier if they said what they wanted.
Yes, yes.
And that would have made everything much simpler.
The colors were pretty, though.
I'll talk to you
Bye-bye,
later.
Cole.
Goodbye. She's still
For
behind
now.
the curtains in the reading room, watching the blood pool on the floor.
I'll talk to you later.
If you like. An old name burns inside armor that shouldn't fit, lit by faces of children he couldn't save.
I'll talk to you later.
If you like.
Okay. I don't know where these exclamation point quests are. What are they for? I don't remember. What they are for.
And how much did you need? Yes, sir.
Maybe if I go around this way, it might make more sense. Oh, what's in here?
Oh, my maker, you cannot imagine how many letters I've received about the fracas at Halam Shiral. Fortunately, you tied twice as many threads as cut, although it is yet bewildering at the center.
There are problems coming out of Halam Shiral.
There are always problems from Halam Shiral. We've lost a few contracts, but more than made up for it. Although, if a few commendations were given, it might retie some severed threads. I couldn't suggest how. That is better decided at your war table, and I'm not going near that thing.
How's it going? Do we have what we need?
With Skyhold shining like a beacon? You name it, it's here or on the way. I've wrung out the slackers, given them what for. I think...
Nice.
I think I like this job.
I'm glad.
As you were.
We are here for you, Inquisitor.
Negotiate weapon plans at the operation table. Venatory intelligence. Yeah, I don't need the murder knife. Nice. Courtyard upgrade. I still need quarries and logging stands to upgrade the...
Fortunate.
I'm working on it. Alright, I still have to find out where this other exclamation point mission is. Meriden. Oh, it is Meriden. Okay. She didn't give me a mission. I guess I have to talk to her again. Meriden. Meriden.
Our heroes. There is an issue that you should address. I think it's worth your time, Inquisitor.
There we go. Alright, I want to probably talk to one more person. Who do I want to talk to? Let's talk to... I'm not sure if there's anything else. I'm not sure if Cullen has anything else to say, but I'm going to check. Excuse me, Varric. Excuse me. Oh, there's also Solus. I'll talk to Solus probably in the next video. Hey, Cullen.
I'd be perfectly happy never again setting foot in the Winter Palace. It wasn't the gossip and backstabbing, I know what the game entails, but the indifference to it all.
Showing interest reveals weakness. Something nobles are quick to exploit.
Andy
No
gets
doubt
the
you're
game.
right. The Chantry can be the same. Their politics are less extravagant, but just as heated. Gaspard rules a country. The divine influences half a continent.
May I ask you something?
Of course.
You've mentioned siblings. With everything that's happening, do you know if they're all right?
I've received word from my eldest sister. She was always good at tracking me down. South Reach has experienced the same chaos as everywhere else. My family is fine. Pray they remain
glad.
so.
Your sister tracked you down. She didn't know where you were.
I let her know I was in Haven. She assumed I survived. It's not the first time. I may have neglected to tell her when I was transferred to Kirkwall.
Why?
I wasn't in a good state. I wanted only to leave. I received an angry letter about my disappearance 2 years later. For all her reprimands, it was a relief to hear from someone who knew me before the Blight.
You still regret the man you became after leaving Ferelden?
After the Ferelden Circle, I thought all mages were like the ones there. Knight Commander Meredith's methods were harsh, but they kept people safe.
You've said Meredith was unstable.
She was my Knight Commander. I had no reason to distrust her. She wasn't wrong about the blood mages in Kirkwall. Meredith encouraged
Except
my
for
anger
Clive.
towards the mages. There was only so far I would go, and she knew that too. I was
Except
her
for the
second in
champion of
command.
Kirkwall, Cullen,
She kept
which
decisions
you never
from me,
noticed.
those I would question. I believed she was serving the city. I never thought to question her, not until it was too late.
I hope you find the Inquisition's leadership more agreeable.
I am confident you will see us through to the end. The Inquisition is my chance to atone. I will not see it fail.
The Inquisition won't last forever. What will you do when this is over?
To be honest, I hadn't given it much thought until recently. I'm not used to having so many possibilities.
Do you think Templars should cease to exist?
No. I may have chosen to leave that life, but I respect those who remain. Magic ungoverned could tear the world apart. It's doing so now. Templars are trained and able to confront such dangers.
What would you suggest?
Some call the Circle a prison that can only breed resentment. Perhaps opportunities to work outside the Circle. A mixed military service or healers' clinics with Templar support. And there must be a safer way for Templars to leave. Templars can lose their memories to Lyrium. Some call it a gift, to forget the failed harrowings, the demons. Some atrocities haunt me still. But to lose what good I can recall, I nearly lost my mind once. It is no gift.
I like the sound of that.
I'm not sure it's the answer, but something needs to change.
That's all I wanted
That's
to know.
all, Cullen.
Another time, then.
All right, Cullen. So good to talk with you, my friend. All right, everybody. So, thank you for watching, and until next time, everybody, love yourselves and love each other.